Yo, welcome to Trippy Commentaries and our wrestling coverage. Today we're going to talk about one of the biggest things going on in the WWE. That is the feud between Bray Wyatt and the Lunatic Fringe, Dean Ambrose. They had a very memorable match at TLC. Really, I think it's going to go down. It's going to be one of those matches that I'm going to want to rewatch in 5 years and be like, wow, that one was awesome.
It's that epic.
It was. It really was. So we definitely need to talk about this feud. It's one that certainly will go down as one of the best in wrestling history. I know that's saying a lot, but these guys are awesome. I'm RJ. Here with me is Retro Brett.
Hey, how's everyone doing?
Raspo, what do you think about the current feud between these two? Am I alone here? I know these guys are crazy. You gotta love it too.
I'm with you, man. I mean, besides these feuds like Lesnar, Cena, which we don't really get to see Lesnar that much, so it's not really that big. But in terms of like a common feud that we get to see a lot of, and we really get our value from the WWE, this is it, man. This Wyatt-Ambrose saga it's awesome, man. Two crazy guys going at it all the time.
Hell yeah.
And just kind of, it's like an expose almost of craziness in the middle of a ring, in a stage, because both of these guys are pretty nuts, if you ask me.
So, to kind of recap the big match from tables, ladders, chairs, and stairs, man, it was crazy. Where do we begin? You had the guys totally beating up on one another to the point where Dean Ambrose really looked visibly beat the hell up. And I'm talking about his face was, like, his mouth was hanging, his tongue was hanging out, he was limping. Yeah. And obviously he had to go all the way up to the intro stage to grab one of the biggest ladders he could find, bring it over right in front of the announcing table. He jumped off of it after, of course, beating up on Bray Wyatt again. Bray Wyatt was actually playing possum, which is about right for his character. And then, of course, Bray Wyatt beat up on Dean Ambrose for a little bit. Eventually, Ambrose got him right where he wanted him on the table, climbed up the ladder, was able to dive off, give him the bow, drop the bow on him from way the hell up there. And it was pretty devastating. They ended up back in the ring. And I think Dean Ambrose had the match won until he got a little bit greedy. He went and grabbed a monitor.
Yeah.
Tried to get Wyatt with the monitor. He started running at him, but got yanked back. It was still plugged in.
Dumbass.
He didn't decide to unplug it. He was like, I'm just gonna yank it. It'll unplug. He did, and some sparks. Yeah, some sparks flew out. Had some special effects there. This completely blinded Dean Ambrose.
Kind of shocked him, kind of threw him off his game a little bit.
In typical Ambrose fashion, though, because the ref went up to him, said, listen, you can't fight, we're going to take you out. And Ambrose was like, no, I'm fighting, I'm good to go. So the ref was like, all right, it's your funeral. And he kind of stumbled a couple feet right into Bray Wyatt, who Bray Wyatt looked up and noticed, oh man, this guy, he's not so good. I'm going to hit him with the Sister Abigail. We should mention that Bray Wyatt got hit with that throat maneuver that he hit on Dean Ambrose. Of course, Ambrose returned in the ambulance. So at this event, turnabout's fair play. Bray Wyatt survived it, waited for the right time, hit him with the Sister Abigail, defeated Dean Ambrose. Amazing match, one that we will not forget here at Trippy Commentaries.
Spectacular match.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I mean, just the pure amount of beatdown in that match alone is enough for like a whole pay-per-view event, man.
Oh yeah, what'd you think, Retro Beretta? You've seen them all.
Obviously, that match was pretty crazy. I like how the announcers, Michael Cole and JBL and the King, always being like, you know, each one is trying to out-crazy the other one. I don't know, if I had to say right now, I would say Dean Ambrose he's like more of a lunatic, he's more uncontrollable lunatic, whereas Bray Wyatt is in control, he knows what he's doing, but he's just mind games out the ass.
Hell yeah. Bray Wyatt's a beast, and the good thing about this feud is it was not over, because on
Definitely not.
the Raw afterwards, Dean Ambrose came out. Now, Dean Ambrose lost, but it was almost like a win in my book for Ambrose, because he was so impressive. He hit that move off the ladder. I don't know too many wrestlers who would be willing to do that. That was a Mankind-esque move in my book.
Jeff Hardy. The Hardy Boys kind of reminded me of.
Two of my favorites.
Yeah. Kind of expect him to do the Swanton Bomb on
those who really risk
yes.
their bodies, man. Like, Ambrose is that guy. He doesn't care. He'll put it out there for the show, man.
Yeah. And that's why right now this man Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and their other former Shield member Roman Reigns are my three favorite wrestlers going on right now. And you got to say, Dean Ambrose is probably the one who'd be willing to do anything compared to even those two. So they had another War Words on Raw. Dean Ambrose came out, said he had a blast. Good to see he had his eyesight back, Retro Brett.
Oh, very good.
And eventually, of course, Bray Wyatt showed up on the Titantron. All of the, he calls them his fireflies apparently, all the lights showed up. And we got to see another excellent promo by Bray Wyatt saying that Dean Ambrose just doesn't have any clue what he's dealing with.
He doesn't.
Ambrose also let us know that they would be facing off at Wednesday's Salute the Troop events, the tribute to the troops. So good to see another match. Yeah, it was. But funny. The cool thing about that event, Raspo, was like it wasn't any storylines involved. It was just focused on really good matches for the troops. And because of that, it was well timed, because the match was so good, and it was nice to see Ambrose win that night.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you on that. I think they kind of got to do it that way to give the troops the best possible show they can.
Yeah, no doubt about it. What do you think about the feud moving forward? I don't think it's done. We've seen both of them win, if you count that troops win for Dean Ambrose, where he had a lot of the troops cheering him on. I think, of course, feud's not over. We know why it's one of the best things going right now. He is the uber heel in the WWE, other than Brock Lesnar. He's that one guy that not only is a heel, but he's like the freaking devil out there. And Dean Ambrose he's just one of those good guys that everybody wants to root for. He's like a member of the Goonies or something. No, Rudy, no. Rudy would get killed by Dean Ambrose. Are you kidding me?
Like, cause you could always tell that Dean Ambrose is really trying. I mean, you could tell his heart is out there. He might not, in terms of like when he was in the Shield, I thought he was probably, although Brett's going to argue with me, I thought that he kind of took a shadow to Rollins and Reigns. And so it was kind of good that they did all split up, but I still feel like he's not the best on the mic. But you could tell that he tries and he really puts his all into it, and I think that's why people like him so much.
Oh, I think Ambrose is a hell of a lot better on the mic than Reigns is.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were going to say.
Ambrose he's like Seth Rollins. He's so good on the mic. I love these guys that I feel like they don't need a script at all. Guys like Bray Wyatt have openly said, don't hand me a script because I'm not going to read it. I'm going to do what I do. And that's Dean Ambrose, that's Seth Rollins, that's Bray Wyatt, that's John Cena, that's The Rock. Of course, The Rock, in my opinion,
what I meant is that Reigns is like, he's like that pure wrestler. He's just a big dude, and he's a powerful guy, so he's going to get great matches. Rollins has amazing mic skills. He's a great heel. Ambrose, being a good guy is definitely different than when the Shield originally started off. I think it's growing on me personally. I know you guys are really into him, but I'm excited to see where the saga goes, man, the feud. I think we're going to see this continue on for at least another couple months.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Especially Royal Rumble. I'm looking forward to see what match they have planned for that night. I'm sure you'll have Bray Wyatt clashing with Dean Ambrose once again. Royal Rumble, the second biggest night in wrestling. Retro Brett, you have any possible predictions for us as far as what could happen there?
WrestleMania. Ambrose, Wyatt, Hell in a Cell.
Wow, looking forward all the way to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So what about Royal Rumble? Would they face off then, or do you think they'll give him a cool down period?
Typically, Royal Rumble, they might do a
standing
championship match, but the Royal Rumble itself takes up most of the show.
That's true.
Last man
point. They might
standing
not have
match
time.
at the Royal Rumble between those two. But then I have a question for you two. Raspo, who do you think's crazier out of the two?
That's a good question. I probably, off the top of my head, I'm going to say Bray Wyatt.
RJ?
I'm going with Bray Wyatt, no doubt about it. Bray Wyatt is a freak.
Follow the buzzards. What does that mean?
Yeah, he's a cultist. He has big things planned, and Dean Ambrose has nothing planned. He just hopes...
Wyatt's working with the supernatural, dude. I mean, that's definitely crazy.
Dean Ambrose just hopes he doesn't leave in a stretcher that day, and Bray Wyatt apparently has plans of taking over the world.
Sorry, Dean. I'm going to make it unanimous. Bray Wyatt is the ultimate mind game.
Thank you.
He's weird.
Yeah, that's for sure. Let us know what you guys think about the feud. Like we said, this is maybe the best thing going on in the WWE today. Two of the biggest stars, not only today, but up-and-coming stars. These guys are only going to get bigger, and a long time from now, we'll be looking back on this feud as something that really turned them into as big as they will be. Thanks again for joining us, guys. Once again, I'm RJ for Retro Brett and Raspo. Make sure you stay tuned for our wrestling coverage. We really appreciate it. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Don't be shy. Drop your comments and let us know what you think about what's going on in the world of wrestling. We'll see you guys next time. Until then, stay trippy.